Okay. Firstly, I just want to say that I've never done a YouTube live stream before, and this is also something that I've never done. Is I've just finished a coaching session, and in this session, my client came up with all sorts of incredible insights. So I felt it might be valuable to anyone who is out there right now who, is probably in a bit of pain or finding life a little bit challenging. And there might be some insights that from this coaching session that I just ended that might be helpful to you. So, hence, that's why I'm presenting this to you right now. It's, of course, completely unscripted, and I'm running live right now. So, forgive me for how I deliver it. But I feel like there might be some value, and excuse my green screen right now. But I just want to share some things that came up in this particular session, of course, without mentioning names or suggesting anything that it's going to give you the identity of this particular person, because, of course, every coaching session that I run has to be completely confidential. So let me give you a sense of this. I'm working with a lady at the moment who's experienced a lot of domestic violence, and I won't go into too much detail, but she's experienced a huge amount of pain through her life. She's now going through a transition from our coaching where she's essentially starting to realize that all of the pain that she experienced actually has a purpose for her. And she, as a result of our coaching, she's now discovered her purpose and how it links to all the problems that she experienced through her life and her marriage and all the pain that she experienced through domestic violence. Now, the thing that I want to share with you is where we've actually got to. Now, she's had a lot of pain in her body. And in my view, I've now been coaching for 23 years. And as I've discovered through my own journey of coaching, is that every single thing we experience, all pain, actually does have a purpose. But sometimes it's hard in trying to find that purpose in our pains because, of course, what does pain do? Pain tends to attack the inside. So it's kind of a signal, that comes up in our body that says we need to pay attention to something. And ultimately, when I'm coaching people who have a lot of pain, be it physical or be it mental, and sometimes in this case, both, like the mental pain, the emotional pain has actually started targeting her body. She's been in a lot of pain. So what typically pain is, if you think about it, it's almost just like our nervous system that basically says, I'm in pain. So, fear and stuff like that can center in our gut. So we can have a lot of gut pain, or we're not living our purpose, or we're not following our passion or things that we really want from our lives. So we might experience heart pain, or we're struggling with overwhelm and things like that. So we might experience a lot of head pain, confusion, lack of clarity, or headaches, or we might have a voice going off in our heads. And as a result of that, a lot of people will do things like they'll numb, glug, 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 or taking drugs, or even just, becoming so focused on your work and not going beyond work and living a life, so to speak, because that's how we numb pain. So where we actually got to in our session, I've got a lot of pages to refer to. In my coaching process, I find that taking good notes helps my clients because, you're in the moment, and, so I scribble down lots of notes as my clients are talking. So basically, we started off by calibrating her pain. So she's experiencing a lot of pain. I'm not going to go into specifics as to the where and the how or any of that. But what I did is I calibrated her her pain from 0 to 100. 100 was intense, 0 not at all. At first, she calibrated her pain at 70. So that's where we began. By the time we got to the end of the process, we recalibrated her pain again, and it went to 20. So, that kind of is a pretty big shift, going from 70, down to 20 is a big, big shift. You might be asking, why does a person's pain diminish so dramatically? Now, the reason our pain drops incredibly is because pain, if you think about it, is never held in the place where we are feeling the pain. Pain is always held in the brain. The brain determines what is the level of pain. So the thing that I think I want to share with you mostly is where we got to at the end of the session. She got that her pain she was directing her pain at herself. And the big outcome was she all of a sudden realized that let the pain come out into your purpose instead of attacking the body, which was a big aha for her. I could see the moment she got that, she was processing like crazy. She was going, oh my God, I am directing my pain at myself. I am attacking myself. And so it was at the end of the process, and as I say, I've got a lot of notes here, so I'm shuffling through lots of pieces of paper. And this is where she got to. She got that where she was going was a transformational purpose. That the first thing that she had to do was witness her pain. Just witness it. Just go, this is pain. And instead of burying her head or numbing the pain, she actually had to witness it. And then the second place that she had to go was that she actually had to accept the pain, and that was accept the pain without judgment. Because in judgment, what happens is what we do is we judge ourselves for allowing the pain to happen in the first place, judging others for maybe creating the pain, in our lives, in our existence. So the third and most important point was forgiveness, that she actually had to forgive herself for making bad calls, wrong judgment. She had to forgive others for, their role in creating the pain. So the third point was forgiveness. Completely forgive herself, completely forgive others. So we went through a process of doing that. By the way, this was a long session. And then the fourth point was renewal. Like once you witness, accept, and forgive, you can go through a process of renewal. Now, what is renewal? Renewal is kind of like a rebirth, when you basically get a new vision for what your life could be without the pain. And of course, we went through a lot of work in helping her to get this new vision. And what came up, of course, this renewal created the opportunity for a new purpose. And what she got in that was that a new purpose was having like a new motive. And when we look at the origin of the word motive, if we add an E in front of it, it's an emotive or emotivation. So emotion. And so she felt her whole body starting to bring about new emotions. And these new emotions and this new vision created essentially a transformation. So today, where I left my client at the very end was for her, I said, look, no more words. We actually had spent an hour and a half, I think almost 2 hours in a session. So it was a big, big session. And I said to her, what I now want you to do is just process this. Just begin to think what actually has transpired, what has happened, I'm of course going to send her some of my notes and let her now take some notes and really start to make some new decisions, because that's what happens in a transformation with a new vision. You start making new decisions about your life. And as a result of that, you can go into completely a whole new life. So I don't know whether this makes any sense to you or not. Maybe I've got maybe a bit too much coach speak in a lot of this. If you want clarification on any point, feel free. I think you can comment on this, and if you do, feel free to comment and feel free to ask some questions. So something new for me. I just felt to do this. Whether it is of any value to you, I don't know, but think about it. Think about it in the purpose of your own life. If you are experiencing frustration, anger, guilt, shame, blame, any of those emotions, then ask yourself to witness those, which is, why are they there? Like, why are they there? And in being honest with yourself and answering that question, why are they there? Then you move to a whole new level of acceptance, that you accept that life is what it is. Virginia Satir, who is someone that we teach about in our neuro-linguistic programming training, she actually says something that says, it's not about what life is about ups and downs, goods and bads, and lots of experiences. But what's not important is the ups and downs and the experiences. What is important is what you do with those. So witnessing it is moving to an opportunity to find out who did what, and then that's the judgment point. But to get beyond the judgment point, you move to the next level, which is acceptance, and then choose forgiveness. Forgive those who basically you were judging, including yourself, which at that point creates an opportunity for renewal. And after renewal comes new purpose. And with new purpose, that is the point of transformation. Once you equally go back through that process of witnessing the new purpose and accepting the new purpose, and then transforming, creating the full level of transformation. So that's it for me. I just thought to share that with you. I don't know, how that sits with you, but there might be some sense in that. And if there's no sense in that, and you want to make sense of your life and you want some coaching or need some help, reach out to me and we can have a chat about that. So I hope this is of value. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day. It is a crazy world at the moment. Forgive yourself for feeling any doubt or uncertainty or lack of clarity, but it is a crazy world out there right now. And as a result, there are a lot of people in pain and are hurting. So I hope that this helps you to some degree. So enjoy and do everything you can to get beyond your limits and live a life way beyond limits. My name is Rick Schnabel. Bye for now.